All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants with your week 5 film review, and it's a victory film review. Fun game, man. I thought I'd put more plays in this. I was ready to do like 40 plays, and because of that, I was conscious of that. But this is going to be a good film review. A couple bad things I do want to clean up in it too. We'll talk a little about Hyatt, not a lot, but a little bit about Hyatt. Darius Slayton, the plays that he made. Daniel Jones played really well. The defense, the things that Shane Bowen did to take advantage of the Seattle's weakness. Some really good stuff. So like and subscribe. My favorite content to do every single week is the film review. So I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Let's get into it. First play. We're on defense. We're going to blitz with Tyler Nubin, right? You're going to blitz into a cover 3 coverage, a 3 deep zone. This is something that I talked about on the preview pod, was they just have a really hard time picking up blitzes. I don't know if it's just their back is like not, doing the right thing, but they consistently don't pick up when you blitz a DB. You blitz a linebacker, they'll pick it up, but they don't pick it up when you blitz a DB. And guess what? So the Giants, they line up Tyler Nubin down here. They're in cover 3, which is the coverage they use the most, right? So we got 1, 2, 3 deep zone. We blitz Nubin, right? So because the running back doesn't pick this up, ball's got to come out quick, and Banks does a really good job, right? Not letting that vertical cell kill you. And then you see the athleticism, right? Sit, pounce, put your hand through the ball. Pass breakup. Yeah, they just really so this is a full slide, right? We are 5-man slide, right? Sliding to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The right tackle is stepping left. And it just happens that Burns is slanting inside. So the back, this is your responsibility. This is your responsibility, running back. And he just doesn't pick it up. I mean, he goes to, but he's late. And then you see Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence win up front, right? I mean, that's as quick as a win as you'll ever have. So force that ball out quick. It allows Banks to make a play. And get that ball out. Rip at the arm and get that ball out. Pass breakup for Deonte Banks. Next play. This is a good disguise on 2nd and 12. So they're going to motion DK Metcalf. And you'll notice they don't follow, right? So because Banks doesn't follow, and then you have the nickel corner who is Nick McLeod follow, this looks like zone coverage, right? And this look at the alignment. This looks like zone coverage. We're playing outside leverage. We're playing way outside leverage here. You got the 2 high safeties. No one immediately covering the tight end. You're thinking they're probably rolling down into some cover 3, right? That's over 60 to 70% of Shane Bowen's defenses are either cover 3 or cover 1 man coverage. And this doesn't look like man coverage. They don't follow. But the Giants disguise it, and that's exactly what it is. It is man coverage, right? We snap the ball. We're man here, man coverage here. The back goes out to the left, so McFadden gets in man here, and then you have Okereke playing underneath, and then the deep safety. And just a nice athletic play from Cordell Flott. So when Geno sees this, he's thinking, oh, McFadden chased underneath under this? McFadden chased this. Let me slow down and explain this. So he's thinking it's cover 3. So because the slot receiver is working vertically, that would mean that the nickel corner is going to match with him and turn his coverage into man coverage. And then this corner is going to stay out here in this zone right here. And then when you read that McFadden gets aggressive on this, okay, well, we just throw behind McFadden. That's the play we're expecting. So DK is supposed to be like DK should be sitting wide open in a zone. Instead, flaunts in man, pounces on it, gets his hand on the football. Awesome play. Force him in the 3rd and 12. Awesome. All right, on offense. Now, the offense is going to be almost exclusively positive, except for the first 2 plays I want to go through. So, this is a spot concept. You're going to have Wan'Dale motion. He's going to run the flats. Slayton's going to run, he's going to run a sit. You have Slayton on the corner, and then the running back, Tracy, in the flat. So they motion Wan'Dale, and they get it versus man coverage. So in reality, if you're just looking at the whiteboard, you're throwing this ball to Tyrone Tracy. Right? The ball should come out to Tyrone Tracy. This linebacker's not making a play. You let him get out here, get his 5-6 yards, maybe make a little more. If you want to be a little aggressive, right? You want to be a little aggressive. You throw this corner or out to Darius Slayton. Be aggressive, but this is the first play of the game, and they want to get Jalen Hyatt involved. So on the back, they tag the backside of this with a dig route, right? So because they're in man coverage, you have this linebacker work out here. You're going to have this entire middle of the field wide open, right? You have the one safety playing, Julian Love playing deep. That means, well, if they're in man, we've got all of this area open, right? So let's get a play to Jalen Hyatt, and he just can't win. Like, let's watch from the start. All right, we get hands on us. The corner gets physical with us. We're starting on top of the numbers. When we're look where we are where we're making the break. You're telling him where this route is going. We're not able to get off the line of scrimmage well. He knows. He gets in this trail technique. He knows he's not running vertical. He's running a dig. I'm underneath it. And at this point, DJ's, tripped. But if you want to be super mad and be like, throw this, fine. But they tried to get Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt wasn't like a main part of the game plan, but there was ways to get him involved. And I'm done making excuses for him. Look where we're getting moved to. And then for the sack, they credited Andrew Thomas with this. This is a good play for Andrew Thomas, right? We get the power, we power down. That's a good play, right? Let's just say Daniel Jones was over here. Like, oh, that's a great job, great technique. You worked that hop step. And we can't see exactly if he trips over Thomas, but you see right here his leg gets caught up on the left leg and he trips. I can't believe they accredited that to him. But hold on to the football. 2, that would be important. That would help. Good job, Thomas, picking it up. Makes a difference in the game. Kinda. All right, so here we go. Now we have 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. And this is the fumble. And I'm not showing this just like, this was a big play in the game. This is where I've got, and there was other runs by Eric Gray I was a little frustrated with. Why are we jumping over this? Right? We are running ISO with Bellinger as our fullback because Jakob Johnson's not on the active roster. Instead of leaping off of this right foot, keep your eye on this linebacker that is flowing over the top. Instead of leaping over it, why not cut off of it and put your shoulder down and get in here? And get in here and get that half a yard, that 1 yard that you need. Instead, we leap over the line, which I hate. I hate it. Like, you see, we have this player right here. Cut off of this right foot and get skinny and put your shoulder down. Instead, we leap with bad ball security. And then the only person that realizes a fumble is Rayshon Jenkins and the Seahawks mascot. And then we got to sit there and watch. And then we get an awful replay from CBS. Maybe he did get in, but nonetheless, you need to hold on to the football, 1. Number 2, put your foot in the ground, put your pad levels down and run somebody over. Run somebody over. I hate that leaping shit. I really do. Even when it works, it drives me nuts. All right, back on defense. 3rd and 8. We're going to run a fire zone, right? Blitz the DBs again. And what do you know? The DBs are off the edge. Geno's got to throw the ball. It's out. So this is a fire zone. All right, we line up all these guys on the line. We don't have 3 for 3 over here. We have the safety deep. They know something's coming after them, right? They're throwing some type of blitz at them. So, right, but with the Seahawks, again, they are bad at picking up the DB blitzes. So they see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're thinking an end, somebody, a defensive end's going to drop back, or Belton blitzes, maybe Pinnock blitzes too. They're not prepared for this. So we actually blitz the nickel corner, and we blitz Jason Pinnock out here on the outside of DK Metcalf. So we got them rushing free, and then we drop back. Okereke, Chapman, Belton. We drop them back. Have Newbin play the sticks. You got Banks up here playing this zone one-on-one. And so we cut off the in-breakers, right? So if you got this blitz, let's hit some in-breakers. Well, we cut the in-breakers by having these guys move from left to right, or right to left. We're one-on-one here, essentially. Cut off the in-breakers. And at that point, quarterback's hit. All right, let's see the protection. You've got Dexter Lawrence on this side and Brian Burns. On this side, you've got, a lot of guys to account for. So they run a half slide. I'm thinking that Walker is thinking he's accountable for, for Belton. I don't know who Walker's accountable for. Is he accountable for the nickel? Because he doesn't do a very good job picking it up. These guys actually do a solid job of this. Pass this off and then get off onto Pinnock. But just take advantage of a running back who's just in the wrong place. I would lose my mind if I was a Seahawks fan watching my talented running back mess up the blocking that often. It's something I saw in the preview pod and talk. If you guys listen to our preview pod, I talked about blitz the DBs in this game. They can't pick it up. Next play. This is that play to Theo Johnson. If you've been watching these film reviews, we've talked about how the Giants have been running a lot of 4 verts this year, but based on, but instead of having the outside guys run vertical every time, based on the coverage you get, hitching on the outside. Now, you would think that with the press, you would actually have them run vertical instead of hitching. But you have Slayton wins down here. Hyatt, not so much. But you get play action, so you suck up these linebackers. Right? It seems like they're in a cover 3 man match. So they match with Wandale. And then you have Theo on the over, wide open, right? We pull up these linebackers. They rolled the safety down late to play the run from a light box. Throw it right over his head. You got all this green grass. Good stuff. Again, getting the most out of your concepts. This next play, so there's gonna be a couple other run plays we go through, but I did a lot on the O-line report. So if you really want to in-depth look at the majority of Tyrone Tracy's successful runs, go check that out. But this is a Daniel Jones run. This is called QB Bash. The Giants ran this a good amount last year. And it's a pretty creative play. Now, you put your quarterback in harm's way by running it, but you're reading this player. You're reading the end, right? Usually when you have a zone read, who are you reading? You're reading this player, right? If he gets down the line, you keep it. If he's running at the quarterback, you hand it. But the Giants have kind of incorporated this where we're reading this player, right? So if this defensive end chases the pullers, which is Runyon and Thomas, we hand this ball off to Tyrone Tracy. He gets out on the corner, right? And it works. If the end doesn't play the pullers, well, then guess what? Now we just run counter. All right, so we got a nice down block here from Van Roten and Illuminor. JMS gets to his spot. John Runyon pulls and kicks out. Even though this end gets close to it, right? We could just get a piece of him. but that's mostly just Jones. But because of where Runyon is, he can't get flatter on this. Then you have Thomas, lead block on 0. And look at this space we got. Right? And then Leonard Williams sees it. We're going to stiff arm him. Good to see you, old friend. And then we put our shoulder down and have these two players, Julian Love, run into each other, head to head. Ooh, that didn't feel good. That didn't feel nicey. Here's the Wan'Dale Robinson touchdown. Again, play action. Right there, linebackers sell on this. Right? Wide zone play action. Wan'Dale Robinson touchdown. How do we make it happen? So it's just creating traffic. Because when you have this play action, well, what are your linebackers are going to do? They're going to follow that action. They're going to follow that action, and they're in man coverage. And guess what that's going to do? That's going to create a pick on the corner. And that enough, there right there is enough to slow it down. And then you have Slayton on the crosser. He's basically running right at the safety to slow him down. Right, so he can't get a great angle, so he's got to play up and then chase it. He's not going to win that battle. And then we get Wan'Dale Robinson wide ass open. We throw the ball with some pressure, put it on him. Touchdown, New York Giants. How about that? Wan'Dale Robinson, second touchdown of the year. But you'll see it, right? We create a pick here. Love's got to play up on it. The blocking up front, right? Blocking for a gap. JMS has nobody, right? JMS has nobody. You want to protect yourself against this free rusher. So what does JMS do? He flips around, picks up the end. But you also have, hey, this safety's blitzing off the edge too. So this is where on DJ. Get the ball out. Get the ball out. You're going to take a hick. You're going to take a hit and get it out. Doesn't actually take the hit. Puts a good ball on Wan'Dale Robinson. Touchdown, New York Giants. Good stuff. Really good stuff there. Next play on defense. This is going to be a Dexter Lawrence sack. Third and 8, cover 1 blitz. Right, so we just got regular man coverage from a 2 high safety look. We have 1 safety roll down as the robber, and then we're gonna blitz. We're gonna send 6. Right, so we send 6 up front. They keep both the backs in. Right, so then we have man coverage. Bam, this is a good spot, right? This is good coverage by Adore. You got Drew Phillips here, right? Phillips loses his leverage on this, but this is where having Belton helps, right? Belton filling down here in the middle, that's what makes it help. You have the deep safety. Banks is cheating inside. Don't give him a quick, easy throw. And then up front, that's where we make the money. That's where we get the sack, right? Dex gets to do the sack. We got 6 down. With Pinnock, we have 3 safeties. Okereke, so they're going to keep in 7. They got the backs playing the outside. And that leaves Dexter Lawrence one-on-one. And when Dexter Lawrence gets one-on-one, he wins. I mean, get your hands on him. Keep your feet driving. And then just manhandle his ass. Work that swim move. Because of we are staying on the outside, right? We're not cheating inside. We are not allowing Geno to escape, right? Geno's got nowhere to escape through except for to go up. And Dexter Lawrence gets that money. Sack for Dex. Awesome stuff. Back on offense. 3rd down. This is the Wan'Dale drop that hurts you. Because this is a well-designed play. You know, it's kind of like that. It's a form of mesh. Right? So we have mesh here. All right, this is the mesh point with Theo and Slayton. All right, so that's your mesh. Now, usually you would have Wan'Dale Robinson sit right here, right? We sit right here, and But we have it against man coverage, right? So if we sit versus man coverage, that's not where we're going to throw. We also have Eric Gray leak out and work underneath. And we put a ball on Wandale. Right? Now, I think this play probably should have, maybe was designed to go to Slayton. Basically, to send 3 to this side, and then you find the one here. But we put a ball on Wandale Robinson, and we just drop it. This is a money throw, man. I mean, look at this crisscross, these crosses right here, right? Womp. But you've got some pressure, so you got to get the ball out quick. So this throw to Slayton's not necessarily the right throw, even though that's probably where they want to get to. But you got the pressure, so we got someone versus man coverage. That's Wandale Robinson. We throw it to him, and we put a money ball on. That's money, and we drop it. And Brian Dable's pissed off. Frustrating. That's frustrating. Oh my gosh, the coconut fell because the hurricane outside, because there's a chill in the air. Leaves are falling to the ground because of the hurricane, but also because football is here every single weekend. You can make each weekend, that's what fall is all about. You can make each weekend even more exciting by getting to the action with our partners at DraftKings, the number one place to bet on touchdowns. That hurricane's coming right for me. It's insane. There's a bad excitement, but there is anticipation for it. So right now, all new customers who bet just $5 instantly will get $200 in bonus bets when you use code WORLD. Stand on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets to bet on anytime touchdowns on DraftKings. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code WORLD and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code WORLD only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. You'll be glad that you did. You wanted big plays, you got them. Let's just line up and win vertically, right? Let's throw this ball deep to Darius Slayton and bam, 40-yard play. So this is about as basic as a concept as you can get. It's your outside receivers are working vertically, and then you have your slot receiver basically run straight at the middle safety. Right? And they rotate these safeties down. Right? Just run straight at it let's get a clear picture on one side. So DJ's watching the safety rotation, right? We see this safety come fill the flat. And we check Hyatt, right? Hyatt's not even at this point. We look back at Slayton. This stuff matters, man. The release has a part in getting you the football deep, right? He's faster. This guy right here is faster, right? When I saw him get free releases in this game, it's like, damn, you forget how fast he was because he's barely been playing. This player is faster than this one, but he's fast too, and he has a better release, and he gets the football. Just a great ability to track the ball over the shoulder by Darius Slayton. A bullshit penalty called on it. Right. We go there. We move the safety. We turn. Bam. Put it on him. That's a beautiful ball. Beautiful catch by Darius Slayton. Let's go. Now, let's get a Darius Slayton touchdown. Right, got the big play. Let's give him another big play. So we motion Wandale Robinson. We're in man coverage. So Brian Dable talked about it. This was actually supposed to go to Wandale Robinson. Right, you see Wandale motion work the stutter and go. Right, trying to get this corner to bite on this. But you boot on it. You're trying to get this corner to bite on it. Right, maybe you get Hyatt on the crosser, but he's not open. And again, they said this was Dable called it a secondary read. I don't think he meant this is his second read because Hyatt's the second read. I think he means hey, if what we're looking for is not there, then we can throw the ball back to Darius Slayton. And Slayton does a great job. Right, we release inside, press vertical, right? Get vertical and snap. And now we got that separation. I mean, this is a great ball too. And we get this defense moving right. I mean, we're open. We throw it back. Oh, beautiful, man. Like that's you can't really place this ball any better. Great catch by Slayton. Touchdown, New York Giants. Get those big plays. Say hello to this guy. Awesome stuff. Next play. We are on defense now. Back on defense. Giants going to blitz the DB, right? We're going to run a cover 3 nickel blitz. Against a post wheel concept for the Seahawks. Post, wheel. Good job timing this up. So they're going to run the post wheel, right? So let's just go through that part first. All right, so they got the post. So Banks takes the post, and then you have Pinnock actually like match this and take the wheel, right? So it's not there. You're funneling the post into the Nubin right here. Good stuff. But when you play this post wheel and you cover it well, it usually leaves this open underneath. And this blitz by Nick McLeod actually throws Geno off because Geno sees, oh, they're playing with cushion, they're playing off, they're going to match this. And McLeod stops him from throwing that. And then the pressure from Kayvon Thibodeau leads to a Dexter Lawrence sack. Right? So, like, good job playing the coverage, and then McLeod just making an instinct play. Right? This is not the scheme like, oh, get in the window of the post wheel. This is simply McLeod seeing what's going on, playing it. Like, that's good football instincts. Sometimes you just got to let your instincts take over, and that's what Nick McLeod does on this. And it leads to a sack, right? Coverage leads to a sack. Kayvon versus Charles Cross. Shout out 2022 draft. Set him up with the stutter. Work around the corner. Force Geno up. Right? Do not let Geno escape outside the back of the pocket. Davidson and Kayvon combine for a sack. Good shit. Next play. This is a 3rd and 7 cover 3 pass breakup by Deontay Banks. This is great by Banks. This is great. I think this is his best player of the year. Like, it's not even close to me. Like, this is his best play of the year. So let's just keep it simple. And pressure makes a difference on this, right? We'll see. We'll get to that part. But they're just in basic cover 3, right? Deep third. Right? They're in basic cover 3. This Nubin's coming down the cover of this area. Even though that's probably where the ball should have went. But when Geno has pressure, he likes to hit DK, right? When his first read's not there and doesn't have pressure, he likes to get DK. It's a great job because this is a good route by DK. Like, Banks never gets influenced by this, right? Like, DK throws this foot jab, turns his shoulders outside, and Banks never bites on it. Just doesn't even come close to biting on it, right? We talked about in other plays where Banks has gotten beat. It's not just the catch point. Like, he's been very influenced by receivers selling other routes. And then seeing the ball, getting underneath it, get your hand on. I mean, that is my favorite play by Deontay Banks of the year by far. I know he had other good plays in this game. We went over one by far. Just like, because it just combines the two things you want. We know he's athletic, but not being influenced by wide receiver ones using good sell and making a play on the football. That's what we ask. But good pressure here from Burns and Kayvon. Right? Burns getting around the corner. Maybe not so much Kayvon. Wait, hey, Kayvon. No, never mind. Good pressure by Burns. Forcing the ball out. Bam. Banks pass breakup. Good shit. Good shit on 3rd down. Back on offense. We're going to go through a couple runs. I told you we do a couple. Just power. Right, 25-yard run from Tyrone Tracy. Let's break it down. All right, gap run, right? Not zone where we're all stepping one way and blocking our area, not our zone. Gap. So what are we gonna do? We are gonna have, instead of Theo Johnson blocking this tight end and then making John Runyon pull all the way to this player, and this player seeing what that is because he's taught, like, oh, if I'm left unblocked, I'm getting pulled. Squeeze this down, spill inside. All right, so instead of asking Runyon to do that, we're just going to have Theo Johnson block out here. And he does a pretty damn good job. Like, that's a really good job. Theo's been a good blocker. And then we're going to have Jermaine Illuminor and Greg Van Roten. We're going to double team from here to this linebacker number 0. Right? Jermaine gets good movement, good strength. I mean, we're moving this guy, right? We're starting here. We're moving here. We're blocking up into the linebacker, right? That's the best way to combo to a linebacker, is just block into him. And this is where I talk about, like, last week, if you saw that counter run where Greg Van Roten didn't pull well, it's not about, because, like, Runyon's not a great puller. But in reality, where everything is quarter of a second in the NFL, it's not about having this most kick-ass pull where you light a guy up. It's just about getting to your spot. And that's what Runyon does, right? The linebacker feels heavy. He shoots this gap. And we just get to the spot, right? You want your helmet here. This is where you want. You want to push him outwards. That's what we want. And this linebacker delivers a pop. Right, delivers a pop, but it's just about getting to the spot, because now Jermaine's got a great down block here, and we've got the gap. And then we get Hodgins to get down here. He makes an awesome block on the safety that's filling from depth. Wan'Dale Robinson, get on your freaking horse and then seal off the backside. And then we got all the space in the world. We allow Tyrone Tracy to get some extra yards, run into the corner. Bam, 24 yards. Now we got 3rd and 1. A run that the Giants used to play. They used to run a lot in 2022. They got away from it last year. They barely run it this year. Pin and pull. Now, I know it's a little different because it's 3rd and 1, and these players are clearly playing the QB sneak, especially where, Bellinger and Tyrone Tracer are lined up. Like, that's what they're playing, the QB sneak, right? They're slanting in. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of their aggression. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Andrew Thomas block down. Darius Slayton blocked out here. Bellinger cut this linebacker. And then you have Runyon out here to block 21. Bam. And this is where speed matters with the running back position, right? This is where Tracy having a little more speed than the other guys on the roster helps. So like we said, we see what we do. Block down here. Slayton blocks down here. Bellinger throws a cut. Not the best cut, but it does enough. But this is where speed matters, because we're able to outrun these players. Runyon gets out there. I just said he wasn't a great puller. This is a good pull. Bam. Right? 3rd and 1. We get ourselves a nice 13-yard run. Good shit. All right, next play on defense. I know this is not the Seahawks film review, but if I was doing a Seahawks film review, I would lose my mind on their offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb. There's nothing I cannot stand more than on do or die plays, right? 4th downs, 2-point conversions. When you will cut the field in half, which means let's just say this play is where they have this tight end run a sit route, they have this player run a flat, and then you have Geno Smith roll out, boot out, right? And you cut the field in half. You don't give yourself options. You just hope that they don't cover it the correct way, right? There's one thing I can't say. The other thing is hoping that the defense just guesses wrong. So they run this 4th down and 1, like, oh, maybe he'll fall for this, right? Maybe the defensive end who we are leaving unblocked falls for this. That is the hope. And then on top of that this safety, Tyler Nubin, who's responsible for the running back in man coverage, chases the run as well. Even though they are aligned, like, we're good here, right? We got 1, 2, we're 4 for 4 on the line. We got our 2 linebackers to fill there. Like, we're good. It drives me nuts, right? And so Brian Burns just rushes free, right? He rushes free. By the way, great play by Nacho, because this play wouldn't have worked even if they did it. It did hand it off. Just guessing. Just hoping they don't do it. And the coach even said afterwards, like, we expected them to play that a little differently. Well, they didn't. And they're manned up here, even if you don't have Brian Burns rushing off the edge. I mean, that's you just had a 4th down stop, and you give them a field goal. Like, that would drive me nuts. If this would be living in my head rent free if I was a Seahawks fan, just thinking about this, right? Like, I'd be, 3-4 years from now, Ryan Brubb's, a good head coach, been a great play caller. I'm thinking about that play. That drives me nuts. All right, back on defense, or still on defense. This is the touchdown that Okereke gives up. This is frustrating, right? We have red zone quarters, cover 4. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 deep, and then you have your players underneath. So Okereke is such a smart player that this is why this frustrates me so much. It's because Okereke is responsible for the middle of the field here. You have DK here, right? So you know that Nubin's going to give him some extra help, right? You don't want DK beating you in the red zone. So unless DK runs a complete in-breaker, like, you don't really need to be responsible for him, right? If DK runs, what the hell happened there? Here, then you can be responsible for him, right? So, like, let's say DK runs this in and you get aggressive on the DK thing, they throw over your head. That's one thing. But this frustrates me because Belton is responsible for the back here in the flats. You don't have this immediate threat. I don't care where Gino's eyes are. Like, you see that JSN is running behind you. Running behind you. You know that on here we're 3 for 2 over here. But I guess because he's following Gino's eyes and the fact that the Giants are getting pressure right here, he guesses. But we end up with a football thrown right over our head. I think good win by Chapman, too. Or, what he's reading and thinking JSN's running, along out here. And maybe JSN is supposed to. And this, by the way, is crazy. Watch this throw. So I guess it's just some great ball by Gino. And so it's maybe not as bad as I thought when I originally went through it. Expecting. But this is where get some eyes. Get some eyes on this receiver. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too critical there, but I just didn't like that. Last offensive play. This is the 3rd and 4 where it's like, why don't we just hand the ball off to Tyrone Tracy? The Giants ran a good play. Wan'Dale just couldn't get out of the way. So this is, and the Giants got a first down on this earlier in the game too. So you're having Wan'Dale run a slot fade, which is essentially just clearing out space for Darius Slayton on the slant and against man coverage. And Slayton does a good job, right? Because this corner's cheating with inside leverage, right, to win. Slayton does a really good job. But Wan'Dale can't get off of this, right? This corner presses him up. And then they get into like this, like he's a blocking sled. And Slayton has to slow up because Wan'Dale's there. So Slayton slows up. The ball's right there. Luckily Slayton got his hand on it. Maybe the DB makes an interception. But at first I was like, what the heck? Why did Slayton slow up? Now now that I got to see the other angle, it's so clear. Like if Slayton doesn't slow up, he just runs into Wan'Dale Robinson. So Wan'Dale's got to get out of there, man. But I love this play. This is your guy that's been winning all day. They're stacking the box, right? You talk about, Tracy had so much success. Yeah, but, Tracy's success was against light boxes for the most part, right? He only ran the ball against a stack box 4 times. One of it was on the play, the play before this. So I like this play call. It's just you got to execute better by Wan'Dale. You got to execute better. And then, DJ has to get the ball out quick, right? He can't improvise on this because Giants run a four-man slide, and Greg Van Roten just gets beat. Throws out a punch without moving his feet. We're in a bad spot. Right? DJ's forced to get the ball out quick. But I love the play call. Call it again. Call it again if Slayton's been having that type of success at the line of scrimmage like he had been having all game long. Was cooking them. And then last play, this is the Geno 32-yard scramble that got him in field goal range. And this has actually happened to Bowen a couple times in Tennessee too. Maybe not even on QB scrambles, but leaving the middle of the field wide open on third downs. And this wasn't third down, but so we talked about like that touchdown that Okereke gave up, and I'll let this roll while I talk through. That entire drive, they played the softest of zones. Like just soft zone the entire time. Right? Just giving it. Like, because it was 5 minutes left, they were up by 10. They're like, all right, let them have a long drive. They won't get the ball back. Well, they ended up getting it back. Because they, went 95 yards in, 4 minutes. Right. So I'm thinking that Bowen is like, hey, we want to protect ourselves against the deep throw, but we can't just let them drive down, like get these quick, easy throws. So, but also they got burned at the end of the first half. I should have put that play in here to tell the story, but they got burned at the end of the first half because you can get in the field goal range in 2 plays now because of the new kickoff rule. So they didn't want the Seahawks to get in field goal range. So they run man coverage, cover 1 with 1 safety deep, and Dory Jackson gets beat, and Geno fires it in to lock it, and they get a first down. They kick a field goal, right? So Bowen, to protect themselves, we're not going to run regular cover 1. We're going to run cover 2 man, right? And I know Newman's not like playing deep right here, but we want to protect ourselves deep, but to get aggressive and play man coverage, right? So we're man. Funneling this in, we got the 2 safety, man here. We got the 2 safeties, right? Newman's making sure we're not throwing the crosser here, which is awesome, right? Good coverage, everything's covered, right? Unless we're throwing to DK against Banks, right? That's the only place that the ball could have been a successful play. The bad side of that is you got nobody underneath to be represented for the quarterback, and QB spy is one of the most overused things. It's so rare that teams just run a spy, and when they do, it's like 5 times a game against Lamar Jackson on 3rd and longs. But what you do have is you have a middle defender in cover 1. You have this robber defender, but this is hey, I don't think I've criticized Dex once in the last 3 years. Dex gets popped here, so I believe that they're looking to set up a stunt here for Chapman. So Dex is supposed to crash into the center's hip, and then Chapman loop around. But Dex gets popped, and so if Chapman's going to loop around, he can't do it now because he didn't crash into the center. And Chapman's not winning, and if this was just Dex trying to win a one-on-one, then it's even worse. We have all this green grass in the world. And then this is the second time in 3 years against the Seahawks where they, do a good job pretending to run catch a pass right here by JSN, occupying Adore and Newman. Because they don't want to get beat deep, and Geno gets that yards. And they don't get a first down, but they're in field goal range, and the Giants end up blocking the field goal. So I hope you guys enjoyed the film review. I enjoy making it, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. We will see you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue.